Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the I Talk Back Sports Show. My name is Kay, and I'm joined by Jamal Bonner
Hey,
and also Herman Major Payne Botley. How you doing?
Okay.
Alrighty, so it's been a minute, guys. So let's just go ahead with the shout outs. Jamal, who do you want to shout out to?
You know what, Kay? I just want to shout out to life. It's good to see you all again. It's been a long minute since we've seen each other. So I just want to shout out to being alive and seeing you all. Kay, what about you? Who do you want to give a shout out to?
Well, I'm just going to have to go to the same way. I woke up, I could hold my breath for 60 seconds without coughing. So life is good. Herman?
Absolutely feel the same way, guys. In spite of all the things that are going on, we're able to reconnect. So that's always a good thing.
Okay, I see you sneak some Super Bowl trivia on here, Jamal. What's going on?
Wait, what? What? No, not me. Not I. I would never do such a thing.
Okay. So it looks like which player scored 7 touchdowns in 3 Super Bowls?
Would that be Tom Brady? No?
I don't know.
This is not something that I know anything about.
Okay, so does anyone online know who scored 7 touchdowns in 3 Super Bowls? Please provide us an answer. Please. Okay. Yes. So anyway.
On to the good news, right?
On to the good news. Okay, so the news around the leagues. We now know that the 2020 Summer Olympics is now going to be played and scheduled for July 23rd, 2021.
I can go.
You can go?
I can go.
You be by yourself. Yeah, okay. And as of today, the NBA is postponed. The start date is unknown, as well as the MLB. And the NFL says there are no changes to their start date of September 10th.
I wouldn't hold too hard to that idea, but okay, they can try that.
Okay. Alrighty, and are there any thoughts on the series, the ESPN series, The Last Dance? Herman?
My first impression is it's been interesting talking with some of the younger generation players because for some reason they have this perception that Mike wasn't playing against great teams, and I would have to tell them I have to seriously disagree with you because you have some top 50 guys on top 50 teams. I think the most fascinating part was watching how he came up. It's very different from what most kids that are considered blue chippers nowadays. He went through getting cut in 10th grade. He goes to North Carolina. He has to fight his way to the top of the barrel, so to speak, to even be able to start. And I just think that his greatness, you just understand, is that level of competitiveness that he had that drove him. And it's something, one of those things that, like, either you're born with it or you're not. That's why, some people just have that drive, and some people just don't. There's not an indictment on anybody else. It's just some people are just like that. And he's just one of those people that is very unique to do it. Because he was a killer. That point blank. He was a person that he'd rip your heart out first chance he got. Playing against one of the best teams in the league and probably in the history of the NBA, the Celtics, 67 15, 5 Hall of Famers, and he put 63 on them.
Yeah.
With no help.
Yep.
Okay, Jamal, with everything that Herman mentioned from the first 2 episodes, has your opinion of Jordan changed any?
I mean, not really. I got to say that I still respect the man. I still hate him. Lakers fan all the way. So that 91, his first championship, yeah, I still hate him for that.
You mean when he ripped Magic Heart out?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. So
My
anyway,
bad.
there
it
was
was building up inside me.
but honestly, no. What I like is that this has been kind of a non. It hasn't been completely glossed over, and that you're getting to see the good and the not so great of a man who went on to be one of the greatest. So it wasn't all just fairy tales and so forth. And you got to see sometimes you had to be ugly, and there was a price to pay for the others around for the championships that they won. So, but did I learn anything? No. In my opinion, it's not changed. Jordan's a person, so you understand. Kay, what about you? What did you think?
Well, I'm more interested in how they kind of started from the end, and I guess it's 10, different episodes. So are they going to bring it all together? I'm more interested in the story of it all. But what I did learn, and I'm going to bring this up, it's so long, like I accepted like how Kobe was, like he was great. You know what I'm saying? But I still had Jordan Love in my heart. You know what I'm saying? So it was hard for me to fully appreciate him. But what I want, and I challenge people to do, is just like appreciate what he did, what he, provided to everyone, and stop the greatest, the best, all of that crap. Because
Right.
he was the best at his time
Right.
with what he was facing. And so was Kobe as well. So we need to equally love everybody and appreciate the time that they have in our lives. Isn't that beautiful?
That's beautiful.
I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree because, I mean, all it is, it's always amazing how people just get so heated about it. And it's like, at the end of the day, nothing's going to be resolved. So these numbers and the trophies and the facts and the figures, and I'm just like, at the end of the day, it's still not going to make any difference. So I appreciate greatness for what greatness is. I'm totally with you, Kay.
So speaking of greatness and looking towards hopefully some future greatness, we're going to start talking about the NFL draft for 2020, which will be taking place over the next couple of days remotely. So rather than being in Vegas, our wonderful Kay is with us to talk about her team, her new team, the Las Vegas Raiders. Tell us about your new team, Kay.
Well, the only way that I could be a Las Vegas Raiders fan is if they found a way to fly me there every weekend for a game. But that's pretty much, when we started this process, I called out to a couple of fans and, just asked if they would come on and talk about their team. Since this particular fan is absent, I'm going to fill in and I'm going to talk about the Raiders, okay? So some of their off-season transactions was acquiring Demarius Randall, safety, Nelson Aguilar, wide receiver, and for some reason they picked up 3 Cowboys, Jim Keith, Malik Collins, and Jason Witten. And I guess it's because of Rob Marinelli maybe being their new defensive coordinator. So, yeah, we'll see how all that works out. They're needing cornerbacks, wide receiver, linebacker, and somebody for their defensive line, okay? So they have 2 picks, Jamal and Herman, in the first round, the 12th and 19th pick. I think they will get a wide receiver, but in true Raider fashion, they'll wind up getting a quarterback.
The last thing that they need.
Yeah. They have to stay true to form. So every year they have to make a major mistake and get a draft pick. Okay, so anyway, the matchups if I was a Raider fan, that I would anticipate for the season would be the Chargers, the Patriots, and the Bills. That would be something that I would look forward if I was a Raider fan. Okay, so anything about the Raiders that either one of you would like to add?
Yeah, the Raiders, like you said, they'll mess it up.
Okay. So, Broncos, they acquired Melvin Gordon, 2 years, $16 million deal. And they're going to draft in the 15th place. I think that they need a wide receiver or a cornerback. So we'll see how that goes. The Chiefs, they're picking 32nd. They picked up Rashard Breeland, and I think that they should look for maybe a defensive lineman first and maybe a running back in later rounds. The Chargers, they have the 6th pick, and they'll probably get a quarterback or an offensive lineman. And that's for the AFC West. Any input, guys, on any of that? No.
I just have one real kind of observation. Is I'm very curious. Like I say, we know the Raiders' track record, but with Mike Mayock being the one that's kind of pulling the trigger for these draft picks, I think I would like to think rather that he may be able to get it turned around. I don't know. I'm just speculating because he is more of a personnel person than I think that any of those GMs, that some of the GMs are. I think that's why San Francisco got turned around, because I think that I can't think of his name. He's more of a player, a better hands-on GM than just looking at numbers. He knows football players. And so that's why I'm very, very curious to see how Mayock, this will be his field all the way in, having had a season to evaluate. So I'm very curious to see how he puts this draft together.
Okay, and now on to the NFC West. We have the Rams. They don't have a first-round pick because they gave it to the Jags. And so they re-signed 2 of their offensive linemen, and they traded Brandon Cooks. The Seahawks have the 27th pick, and they need a pass rusher and a corner. The Cardinals, with the 8th pick, signed former Bills defensive tackle Jordan Phillips, and they acquired this wide receiver caught on his last leg, Hopkins.
Some Hopkins guy. Where is he from again?
From Houston?
Houston.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but they will get a tight end since they have that wide receiver on his last leg. So
last
leg.
Yeah.
Yes. The 49ers picked 13th and 31st. On the offseason, they signed Travis Benjamin, and I think they need a tight end, offensive lineman, and a defensive lineman. Any comments about anything besides Hopkins, Jamal?
They lost. Too bad. I don't feel bad for them. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel anything for them. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you ask me for constructive criticism? I'm sorry. I think that I think the 49ers need to probably also find a really good game breaker, especially at the running back position. That honestly is something that they really have not addressed, and they have not had. Even with the comeback of Marshawn Lynch, they still need a really good, strong running back that they can build upon, because that's the one thing that really were missing last year was a strong running game. So that's about the only thing that I could add to your wonderful rundown.
Thank you. Herman, is your turn.
Okay, with the 49ers, I think, again, that they need a little bit more explosiveness at the wide receiver position. And I would not be surprised to see them try to make a move to maybe get one of those kids from Alabama, because, they've got some good, consistent, steady receivers, but they don't have game breakers. And if nothing else, we've seen that you've got to have basically a combination of the two to be able to really move into the elite part of it.
Okay. And so we're looking forward to your information you're going to give about the Pittsburgh Steelers. So can you run us through that?
Okay. Basically, our biggest thing is the draft. Through the draft, we basically draft to need. I think our big picture is we need to make sure that we develop more depth at the running back position. I'm not sure that the guys that we have backing up James Conner are necessarily the ones that we need. We have one that he's a pretty solid back, but he's not spectacular. We need a breakaway back. We need a guy that's going to be a breakaway back. We need more firepower in the wide receiver position because, again, it was just a little too easy for them to shut down Schuster Smith just too easy. And, again, that goes back to what I said a few minutes ago about needing more than one receiver to get. Now, we've acquired several receivers in the offseason. Can they possibly be an answer? Who's to know? Most of them were special teams guys. We didn't get big name guys. What I am encouraged by is that our secondary has really become the strength of our defense as opposed to our weakness. So if we can struggle and get another pass rusher because we've lost Bud, we need somebody on the opposite side of TJ Watt. They can't slide the pass blocking to just get TJ Watt. We need somebody on the other side. So, again, Jamal and I were struggling with the name. The kid from LSU would be ideal. Will he be there when we come up? I doubt it.
Nope. Nope.
But I'm just, hey, this is me as a fan dreaming. Okay.
Okay. All right.
But so anyway, we draft a need. So I fully anticipate them to basically, because of their position in the draft, I think they'll go for what's best on the board. We need a quarterback desperately. But as you guys both know that, quarterbacks don't come on trees anymore. There's no 1983 draft coming around the corner for us to just go get one. So, and Mason Rudolph is not the answer at all, period. Now, question. The matchups I'm anticipating. Go ahead, sir.
Quick question. Will the Steelers go for best available, or do you think there's a chance they may reach on a quarterback?
It depends on who's available.
Okay.
That really depends because I feel like that they feel as if they don't need to have somebody that's going to start, but they need somebody that's going to be able to get back there and learn. So the kid from Utah is an interesting prospect. I think he would be the best fit because I think he's big enough, strong enough, he can move. He's got great movement skills. He's kind of raw, and I think that he would be put in an ideal environment to be able to learn from Roethlisberger. So I really look forward to hoping maybe he'll be there for that. As far as the matchups, my main matchups that I'm looking forward to, as always, are the Ravens, not just because they're in our division, but because my son is a huge Ravens fan. So I need at least 2 times I need to be able to rub it in his face every season. Yeah. So I need them to win those 2 no matter what. So those are always my first ones. And then because we're going against the NFC South, I'm very interested to see how our secondary will hold up because really there's no really bad quarterback in the NFC South. So it's really going to be a test for our secondary. So I'm looking forward to that. Of course, seeing how they line up with the Patriots without Tom Brady, that will be one that I will definitely be looking forward to. But other than that, I just think it's going to be a very interesting season. My biggest question mark in my mind is, can Ben hold up? Because, again, we're not talking about legs or shoulders or hips or knees or anything like that. We're talking about elbow. And I've lived long enough to have watched Terry Bradshaw basically end his career with his arm crooked because his elbow went out. So if we lose Ben, that's going to be our wild card. So that's my biggest takeaway from our postseason. So if Ben can stay healthy, then I think we've got as good a chance as anybody. But if he goes out, we may be drafting high again.
Gotcha. How does it look for the rest of the NFC North in terms of what do you think their draft needs are?
The Vikings, in my personal opinion, I think that they're good. I think they're good, but I think they need a core.
I'm sorry. I said NFC. I meant AFC North. My apologies.
Oh, AFC North.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Again, kind of like you just said about the Raiders, I think Cleveland is just like the Raiders. They will find a way to mess it up. They will find a way. What I'm really finding interesting is the Bengals are really trying to be coy about whether or not they'll draft Burrow. And I'm just like, you know what? You guys need to commit and move forward.
And start your process.
Thank you. Exactly. Because why are you playing this game? You're either going to get, it's like when you're either going to get Tua or you're going to get Burrow. I mean, I don't know why every day they're kind of sending out these mixed messages. I'm like, you know what? That's why they keep, again, this is why Cincinnati is Cincinnati.
That's why they continue to go through the same things that they have.
Absolutely.
Because of immaturity. And to me, Cleveland just got them a quarterback. We don't know if he's any good or not. But you need to start your rebuilding process the same as they have. So just get it underway and get it going.
And not to sound overly egotistical, but it is very interesting to me how they seem to be chasing their tails, and the Steelers and the Ravens seem to be holding pretty steady as franchises as far as being in the upper level of it. And you would think at some point they were like, you know what, maybe we need to take a couple of pages out of their playbook and do something different, because clearly what we're doing right now is not working.
Right. Okay, now on to the next division.
To where we're going, the AFC East?
Yes, sir.
Okay, AFC East. So with the AFC East now, I think, and I'm going to go out on a big limb with this one, guys. I think now Buffalo is the team to beat in the East.
Me too.
I think that New England has, with Brady not being there anymore, I think that absolutely Buffalo is the team to beat.
And I'll go as far as to say, even if Brady was still there, Buffalo is seeming to rise to the top.
I would agree. Jamal, I see you.
I don't want to accept it. I don't know why not.
Let's get to training camp, and we'll have this conversation again. Go on. Continue. I didn't mean to interrupt. Continue, please.
But in the East, I feel like the Bills are the leaders. I feel like New England will be there simply because Belichick is he's a magician. You know what he does. Miami, I'm sorry, even if they do get Tua, I still think they're like at least 2 years away still. And then, we don't even want to talk about the Jets. They need everything. The Jets are that team that instead of trying to draft to need, they need to say who is the best player on at that moment when we draft. They have so many needs. There's no need in trying to say which priority is the most. Just whoever's there, that's the best. You just get them and keep it moving.
And put that up.
Absolutely, yeah.
Ooh.
Absolutely.
And with the Jets drafting at 11, they could possibly pick up CeCe Lamb, which would really make me sad. But
I hope not. I don't want him. To me, I love, out of all those receivers, I love CeCe Lamb. I've been a CeCe Lamb fan from his freshman year in Oklahoma. That kid is a dog. He is a dog. I love about him the most. He's from the great state. All right.
No.
So I think out of all the receivers,
we will not talk about OU on this channel.
Probably be gone by the time 11 rolls around.
I'm just saying.
because he's just a football player, plain and simple.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
Okay, so for the NFC South, the Saints, Bucks, Panthers, and Falcons.
Well, the Saints, again, are the team to beat, regardless of what Tampa Bay's just done. Because Tampa Bay's still a mess in other places. Now, I think that offensively, will they be able to score? I think so. I think the second half of the season, you'll see them really get good and become really productive as to what we visualize them doing. I think the first part, they'll be trying to get a feel for each other. But they're still a mess defensively. And that's the struggle. Now, I don't know how much Jameis Winston had a contribution to that by throwing all those pick sixes or what.
Yes.
But
he did. He said something was wrong with his eyes.
Yeah, but you know what? I remember when he was at Florida State and he was squinting to see the plays off the sideline. Mm-hmm. And so I thought that they were going to fix that right away. But I don't understand. How can you play quarterback and your eyes are not good? I had to wear glasses or contacts. I wore the Eric Dickerson goggles, and I played defense. I needed to be able to see. So I don't know what he was seeing out there. So, yeah, so I'm very curious to see how that process will go. I wasn't, to be honest with y'all, I wasn't really surprised to see Gronk come out of retirement. I think he needed another year to just let his body heal and go back to it. I think he still has, at least a couple more seasons left in him.
Yeah.
And I don't think he wanted to play with anybody else.
Yeah, he sure didn't want to go to Detroit. So.
Nope. So, but I think the South is the Saints division to win. Tampa Bay will make it very interesting. Carolina, we'll see. They haven't even figured out their quarterback position. So I'm very curious to see how that little soap opera is going to play out. So, and then, like I said, with the rest of them, I'm very curious to see how that all plays out. So I think it's going to be one of the more wide open divisions simply because of the personnel changes that have gone on in Tampa Bay and in North Carolina and at Carolina.
Awesome.
Okay.
9 o'clock.
Okay, it's Jamal, 9 o'clock. Did you have anything to add?
The time has come for you to talk about your team.
My team?
So
my team?
Yeah, let's get into this.
You want me to talk about my team?
Yeah.
So let me just say this. Okay, each time we do this, we are the hardest critics. And we take turns each year being the harder critic on our team. So apparently this year, I'm the lesser critic. So apparently that's why I'm doing our team. Because you ain't a Raiders fan. You're a Cowboys fan. Get that right.
That's right.
So let me briefly talk to you about the Cowboys so that we have some material for other shows. Off-season transactions, the Cowboys... they got rid of one head coach, brought in another one, and they swept out a lot of assistant coaches. We signed Amari Cooper to an extension. Yay! And we also signed free agents Gerald McCoy, Dante Poe, both from the Carolina Panthers. HaHa Dixon, free safety from the Chicago Bears, I believe. And picked up on a flyer, not cleared by the league yet, Aldon Smith. Former linebacker, I believe, for the Raiders. Anyway, he's been out of the league for a few years. First, we have to see if he gets reinstated. But Cowboys are taking a flyer on him. Also, probably taking a flyer on Randy Gregory since the collective bargaining agreement on marijuana usage has been... So, again, we'll talk about this another time. So, notable departures included Jason...
It's my turn to shake my head, no.
What?
I said it's my turn to shake my head.
What?
I'm just carry on, sir. Carry on.
Notable departures have included Jason Witten, Jeff Heath, Byron Jones, Michael Bennett, and Tony Romo has remained retired. He did not come back as was rumored. So, the Cowboys picked 17th in the draft. I've heard people, and I have my own feelings on it. I think first and foremost, we need a defensive tackle. I know that we added a couple, but we really need the depth on the defensive line because they're talking about playing possibly a 3-4 and then swapping to a 4-3. So we're going to need linemen or hybrids. Second, we need a cornerback. We lost Byron. Bringing in Anthony Brown, he ain't Byron. So we need a young ball hawk of a cornerback to come in. We need a Randall Cobb replacement / slot receiver. That may actually come after the draft. That may not be a draft thing, but I just wrote it down as a draft item. And while we did pick up HaHa Dixon and we do have Xavier, we need a free safety. We need a true free safety. Somebody rangy, somebody, again, a ball hawk. We need some interceptions, and we really would like some turnovers. So the matchups that I'm anticipating for this upcoming year include the 49ers coming to Dallas, The Steelers coming to Dallas. Let me repeat that.
And we're going to watch this game together, guys.
The
some way,
Steelers
somehow.
Are coming to Dallas, and they're going to turn around and act like we're Green Bay and go tiptoeing out of our stadium with a loss.
We're going to walk out with our chest.
Nah, you're going to find the ghost of the last Super Bowl you were in, and you're going to be like, oh, dang, that's right. We are supposed to lose here. Sorry. And we will travel out to LA to play the Rams. Thankfully this year we do not have to play New Orleans. We don't have to play, I don't remember. No, I think we do have to play Green Bay, sadly. But we don't have to play New Orleans this year. I'm very happy about that. The Falcons do come to Texas State, but that's not really something I'm looking forward to. So let me talk about our division. I'm going to start with the NFC East, which includes the Cowboys, some other teams, the Eagles, Redskins, and Giants. I've already talked about the Cowboys, so I'm going to move on to the Eagles, who will be finishing in second place. They're going to pick 21st, in the draft. Mouth, sorry. 21st in the draft. I didn't have anything. And their needs are wide receiver, which was actually kind of brought up with the departure of Nelson. Who did the Raiders? Aguilar. Thank you, guys. Going to the Raiders. They also need some help at linebacker and cornerback. Also, keep an eye on them picking for safeties, edge players, offensive linemen, and possibly a backup quarterback. Not sure why they would need that, but it seems to be something that they may be looking out for. The Giants pick
Well,
fourth.
I know with Sean Andrews leaving, I think they need to hurry up and get him replaced. You don't just replace him.
No.
So that's going to be the bigger challenge, I think, for them, especially on the offensive line.
Okay, so let me get something straight here. So I know that y'all are Pennsylvania brothers with, Pittsburgh and Philly. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. I'm sorry. I'm still hostile. I am still hostile. Let me move on.
We are too. We're cross-state rivals, man. There's no love lost.
We don't. Not on this channel. We don't. This part hurts both of our souls, sir. Let me just say that right now. So now I have to talk about the Giants, who. Okay, I can't let this go. Okay, if the Giants had lost their matchup in Week 15 against the Redskins, they would have been picking second right now. Instead, they decided they were going to win this game, this meaningless game. And because of this, they went from 2 to 4. So the Giants are picking fourth. They need offensive tackle help, linebacker, and an edge rusher, desperately. Keep an eye on them for also drafting a safety, wide receiver, edge rusher. You know what? Just the whole kit and the caboodle. Yeah. The Giants list of
I think that's another team. What's the best player you got up there when we get there?
Saquon Barkley. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said best player.
About in the draft.
Just
need to whoever's there that's the best one on your tape on the wall, get him, because I still think they're at least a year away.
From what?
At the very least.
From what?
Becoming average.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. No. Not challenging. Just
Herman.
To the point where they're a threat again.
Herman. Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay.
No. I'm with you, Jamal. I'm with you.
Herman, don't come on this channel doing this. Okay.
I just have to make it dramatic, man.
Okay. So the last team of the division will be the Washington Redskins, who will pick second. They're in desperate need of an edge rusher. Their defense was serviceable last year, but they desperately need to be able to put some pressure on the quarterback. They're also looking for offensive tackle and interior lineman, tight end, cornerback, wide receiver, and a running back, because I guess Adrian Peterson isn't probably coming back. Who knows? So that would be the NFC East.
He's not the answer anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the AFC South? The Titans, Colts, Jags, and Texans. What do we have to look forward to?
Okay, from a drafting standpoint, the Colts don't have a first round pick, but they're in desperate need of a wide receiver, a quarterback, an interior lineman, tight end, defensive lineman, and possibly more wide out help. So I would look for the Colts to go heavy on the offensive side in their draft. The Jaguars will be the next team. They will be picking 9th and 20th. They're looking for an interior defensive lineman, cornerback, and safety. And then they're another one that seems to have the kitchen sink being thrown in terms of other picks, which would now include apparently running back, because there is word that they're trying to shop Fournette around for some strange reason. Not even going to start on that. The Texans, no first rounder. They are in need of an edge rusher and interior defensive lineman. Also, they're looking for offensive line help. But let's be honest here.
They need a coach too. Oh, but go ahead.
Well, what I was actually going to say is I'm kind of more curious about their running back situation, because David Johnson, you know what? Let's deal with this at another time. So, yeah.
Well, Jamal, let me just ask you, and this is just a question, no loaded question, just asking. Do you think a change of scenery will do him good?
I mean, it's possible that it'll do them good. I mean, it will help at least in terms of the ability to get the running game going and continued, because they were a bit pass happy these past couple of years, and their running back by committee really hasn't worked that well. But I just don't remember David Johnson being the world beater when he was out in Arizona the last couple of years. So change of scenery, maybe. Did I say Arizona? I'm sorry, Phoenix. I don't know that a change of scenery is really going to make that big of a difference. Plus, I mean, you got miles on those legs, so.
Right. I'm just always curious because how guys, I mean, especially when they leave franchises losing, I'm always curious to see how they respond if they have the opportunity to go to somewhere to win. Some get energized, some don't. I just wanted to see what your opinion was on it.
I'm going to have to go back and take a look at some tape of the Texans and then come back to you and give you an answer on that one, because my current recollection was, again, about their run game being but I'm not sure if it was blocking or whether it was the actual players that they had. So let me get back to you on that one.
Kay, do you think that he's a good fit? I think he's a little bit big for what they do, because they run lateral. He seems like more of a downhill runner. So, Kay, do you think he's a good fit?
I don't think that he's a good fit. I think they need to, of course, stop throwing the ball so much, and of course, get a running back. But I don't think that that'll be anything in their near future. They just want him to stand back there and throw their ball all damn day. So.
And run the risk of getting killed.
And then, getting hit. I mean, the vicious hits that this man takes. You know what I'm saying? But. Yeah, so I can't figure anything out with the Texans. I'm going to put them right up there with the Raiders and the Cleveland Browns.
You're forgetting a team, and I will get to that team when I get to that division, the original mess-ups. So I got one more team, though, in the AFC South, if I may, and that would be the Tennessee Titans. I got to make sure I don't mess that up. 29th pick in the first round. They're looking for edge rusher, interior defensive lineman, as well as offensive tackle, quarterback, tight end, and interior offensive lineman. So they came within a whisker of making it, and that I think they also need to make sure they come up with a really good backup to Travis Henry, that he can't carry that kind of load. And while I understand you're going to run, and you've got a really talented back like that, you got to have somebody that you can put back there. The one thing that really brought him to the forefront was when he had DeMarco Murray a couple of years ago, and that the two of them spelled one another. They just had a bad quarterback. Now that you have Tannehill, who somehow or another has been rejuvenated, you have what you have. So, but we'll see about what happens with the Titans. I got to move on to the NFC North. I don't know how I drew the short straw to get this division, but here we go. I'm just going down the list of teams. Hate, don't care about, and yeah, okay. So let me start off with the Bears, the one team that I don't actually hate. They don't have a first-round pick. They are looking for an interior lineman, cornerback, safety, offensive tackle, backup quarterback, although they have Mitch, but they did go out and sign Foles, actually traded for Foles, excuse me. And so now you've got a glut of quarterbacks, and there's possibly the need for another one, or maybe you need a backup for Foles when you figure out how to trade away Mitch Trubisky.
I fully expect Trubisky to lose his job, just to be terribly honest with you, because, I mean, he leaves much to be desired. I hate it for him because everything that they said about him coming out of North Carolina has basically come true.
Mm-hmm.
You know, average arm, not very good at reading defenses, some decent movement skills, but not anything to get excited over. Like I say, when they got him, I couldn't believe that they actually decided to make him a first-round draft pick. Yeah. But to me, I feel like he's going to be available in the third or fourth, to be honest with you.
Probably.
A project at best. Yeah. So, again, somehow that's another one of those teams, and the Raiders and the Browns, somehow, some way.
Whoa. Hold up. No. You will not come after the Bears like that, because the next team I have is the actual one of the major screw-ups in the NFL. Year after year after year. Do not lump the Bears in there. Papa Hallis will come for you. All right? Watch yourself. So, let us move on to the third team picking in the NFL draft, the Detroit Lions. Perennial. So, on my list here, I've got interior defensive lineman and edge rusher. They are also possibly looking for an interior offensive lineman, safety, wide receiver, and linebacker. I honestly just say throw the kitchen sink at it. It's the Lions, and by the way, they will figure out how to mess this up. So,
absolutely.
Some team is picking 30th that lives in Green Bay. I won't mention any names. They need a wide receiver, and they need a tight end. They got rid of Jimmy Graham, so they're in need of some help there for the passing game. They're also probably looking for an interior defensive lineman, cornerback, and some help at linebacker. They did not have the best defense, but then they had an extremely potent offense, and I am afraid to see what happens if they do manage to reload either through the draft or free agency on some of these offensive positions that they have open. And last but least, the Minnesota Vikings, who will pick both 22nd and 25th in the first round, they are in need of cornerback help, wide receiver and edge rusher, as well as an interior offensive lineman, the kitchen sink. They are going to be an interesting one to watch. I'm wagering that they'll figure out some way to package these two first rounds to move up in the draft, because it only makes sense when you have them this close together that maybe you can convince someone who's a little shaky further up to kind of come down and take all these two draft picks. I would. I'm not Mel Kiper, but I would think if I were them, I would be targeting from the Jets on up as a package for one of their high draft pick. So.
So do you see the Vikings coming out of the North?
No, I personally don't. I still see the Packers. I don't. I didn't see enough from the Vikings to really feel that they were going to be the team to beat. And then with the departure of Stephon Diggs oh, that's right, he went to Buffalo, didn't he? Okay, so maybe I have to rethink this Buffalo thing. I do not see the Vikings winning the NFC. Excuse me, the NFC North. So to answer your question.
Okay, so tomorrow is the big day. So as a prediction, overall, how do you see this going down? I personally think there will be a lot of people trying to trade down to get, certain things. I think after the draft is over, I would be very interested to see some of the later picks and how they're going to play out, because I think that they're going to be very important. I don't know how valued that they are, you know what I'm saying, as far as reviewing them and being able to see enough of them besides tape. So I would just be interested to see like how the scouts and ownership will do in later rounds. That's my take from it.
I would agree with you, and to be honest with y'all, I kind of was glad that they couldn't do any more visits, because I get sick of the pro days and they go, oh, I don't know. Well, now, so and so's moved up before so and so. I'm like, you got the tape. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Nothing's changed. I mean, so I'm actually kind of glad that they didn't get to visit this year. So it just kept all the BS off the TV, because I'm like, I could not believe like last year that they were showing pro days. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. There's not enough going on there. I mean, it's all scripted. Of course, they're going to show their guys that are fast. They're going to make them look fast. Of course, they're going to make their quarterback look good. There's not going to be any additional evaluation that's going to happen at a pro day. So I was actually kind of glad with it. So I'm like you, Kay. I am looking. I want some type of blockbuster trade or something that's going to shake it up. That's really what I really want. I want to see, oh man, now this kid is going somewhere that's going to be really good for him. So that's what I'm very interested in how that's going to play out.
Jamal, what are any of you want to share your expectations or predictions for tomorrow?
I'm looking forward to a somewhat active draft in terms of rumors and in terms of some wheeling and dealing going on. Like I said a couple of minutes ago, I'm going out on a limb and saying that I do think that Minnesota is going to are going to try to package their 2 first-round picks, or maybe even 1 first round and a second round to move up in the draft in the first round to get into either the middle or maybe even closer towards the top part of the draft. I am hoping there's this rumor floating around that I read about the Cowboys trading their first pick and something else for New England's first-round pick and then their 2 third-round picks. And that because of that, we would miss out on Clayson, and that there would also be some other defensive people who go off the board. But I'm looking forward to some wheeling dealing. I want an interesting draft. The last draft that I watched was the NBA draft last year. That was boring. There were like a couple of moves. I want some chaos up in here. I want some people being moved.
One team I would almost suggest to look for is New England. I still think Belichick is going to want to do some moving around to get. So I would not be surprised to see them really be active tomorrow, trying to get some maybe mid to late round draft picks to add. So Jamal, let me ask you a really quick question. So in the event that Minnesota gets the opportunity to package their picks, who are they going to go get? And who would they trade with? And who would they get if they get it?
Well, I guess it really comes down to who's going to be a willing dance partner in this particular trade idea. And so the top corners, I'm thinking, are going in the first 8 picks. And I don't think that Minnesota has enough or is willing to part with enough to do that. Like, they honestly could really use the 2 picks that they have, truth be told, in the first round, because they need players. But I was staring at it while we were talking a little bit earlier. I gotta think. I'm trying to think who's smart enough to do this, and I hate to say it like that. San Francisco, honestly. I think San Francisco at 13, and I mean that you're probably talking about a first round pick and a second round pick because they doesn't for 13 you don't deserve 2 first round picks. I'm sorry. Plus San Francisco has a second first round pick, so that's at least what I see. So, guys, I hate to do this to you, but since I'm on the East Coast, it's late. So we need to wrap this up.
Well, before we go, we got to get Herman to tell us a little bit about his.
Yes, thank you.
Well, thank you, Kay. I appreciate that. I am a fitness trainer. I teach group fitness, personal fitness, spin, metabolic conditioning. I also do, of course, personal training. But one of the things that I love to do is I love to help people find their better selves. So it's one of the things that you can do. You can find me on Facebook, Herman Botley. I don't have it any complicated way. Would love to take you on as a client. Always have prescribed workouts. They're not easy, but you'll always thank yourself later. Yeah, Kay knows what I'm talking about. But the process of getting better. If nothing else, this pandemic has made most of us, especially as African Americans, understand that our health really is our wealth. Part of the reason why we're losing so many of our people is because first thing off top is our diet. So that's always the first thing that I always start with. And this is not a judgment of any of my clients or anything like that, because you know what? I have things I struggle with as far as my diet is concerned as well. So that's one of the things that I work with, help them to have really quick, really effective workouts. We don't do the hour and a half workouts, anything like that. My workouts work at anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. So get in contact. Kay has my contact information. I would love to talk with you. Let me know what your fitness goals are. From the top, let me just say this. If you're bringing your high school picture out and you want to look like your high school picture, I can't do that. That's not in my line of work. That's called miracle worker. However,
he's not a surgeon, guys.
No, I'm not. I'm not a plastic surgeon. However, I can help you become a better version of yourself as you are today. To backtrack to a thing I was just saying very quickly is that part of the reason why we struggle with our health and we have underlying issues is because we don't exercise. We are more sedentary and our diets are bad, and those are the things that we struggle with. So you're not as far away to being healthy as you think you are. My job and what I do is to help you understand the simplicity of it, and all that it takes is willpower. So please reach out to me. Would love to do it. And even in this pandemic, I still do virtual training. More than happy to sit and talk with you and visit with you and help you with your health goals, so you can come out of this thing better than you went into it. So reach out to me. Love to have you.
Thank you, Herman.
Thank you,
You're
Herman.
very welcome. Thank you, guys. So glad to see you guys.
Thank you.
Maybe next week y'all invite me back. I can talk some trash.
About what? Your team's still got to be in second place.
And shots fired. Shots fired. Shots fired.
I just want to make. There's no shots fired. It's facts. It's facts.
I'll let you have that volley for tonight, sir.
It's facts, sir. It's facts.
I'll let you have the first volley. Great job.
Lamar Jackson can go down injured, and y'all still not going to win. So, Anyway, Kay, did you have anything to add for tonight?
No, I enjoy having you guys on. You keep me laughing. That's why I don't say too much, is because I'm sitting here grabbing my stomach just laughing, So it was really nice.
Well, Kay, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed you guys as always. Hopefully our time of the year will come around when it's supposed to.
Safely, though. Safely.
Yes.
I'm in no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm in no hurry.
No. Not willing to be in that number of where they come back and say, well, we should have done it differently. Now, I don't want to be in that part of it.
All right. Well, with that, thank you all. Appreciate you, and we'll see you again soon.
Been a pleasure, guys.